What's going on? It's like, man, there's there's this point of contention that just is so stupid, man, that, it's just counterproductive. It's like, alright, uh, immediately, this is what people always say to me. I mean, and they'll probably say some more. Uh, what it is, in order to try to bypass the truth, not that, listen, the truth is the truth. I'm not right. What's right is right. Remember that. So don't never get it twisted. I'm not your cult leader. You don't have to drink my Kool-Aid. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, look, I'm gonna speak on things and just, I'm gonna make my own opinion until and I'm gonna draw it from evidence, not necessarily just my bias. You know what I mean? But instantaneously, always people, to bypass any truth that I spit, they're going to go to these same topics, man. They're going to go to, oh, I can't believe you because you smoke cigarettes. And it's like, because listen, I hear you. I hear where you're coming from, and maybe in some cases, to some extent, you're right. But, I mean, the Bible never even mentions smoking, not once. Not even once. I mean, there might be some references to maybe it's talking about smoking. Maybe. But it doesn't really even mention it, So, that's one thing that is irritating. And then people always say this, put not the unclean thing in thy body. And it's like, when it talks about this, I mean, I seen how, in the context that he's speaking there, he's really talking about eating things sacrificed to idols. Like, if they cooked a baby in the hands of a Moloch statue, and then you cut that into pieces and everyone ate it for some kind of satanic, demonic communion. I mean, or that is an unclean thing. You know what I'm saying? That is just the most vile. But this is what it's talking about. People have done this always as this like covenant with death. Like, listen, I serve the brotherhood to the extent where I give you my mind, my body, my soul, but you reward me for it. So these people ain't just doing it because they're totally insane. Even though through these practices, you can become totally insane. I mean, and you can be insane and correct in a lot of instances. I mean, that's the way it works, and then people try to attack me with your this prohibition mindset, man. Where I'm saying, I mean, listen, yes, smoking. I mean, the slave plantations, where they force people to work for tobacco companies. I mean, look, yes, I guess that's pretty evil, and it is kind of like peddling some dope to people, and I mean, if I'm a drug addict, my probably biggest drug of choice is cigarettes. You know what I'm saying? But what I mean by this, where I'm going with this, is if you're gonna condemn people for smoking, because that's exactly what you people do, is you condemn us right away, instantaneous, straight away, like you're a Pharisee. And they said about Jesus, man, he came eating and drinking with his disciples. So listen, it's not like he still was a man like the rest of us. You know what I'm saying? They weren't holier than thou. You know what I'm saying? Why did Jesus always go to the worst of us to make the biggest impact? That's because this is part of the cycle there, dude. And people forget this. They get this holier than thou popery type mindset where they think that Jesus was some kind of glowing being who floated and didn't walk, and he was decked in finery and pimped out, just the most beautiful pimp you've ever have laid thine eyes upon. No, dude, it really talks about him being kind of like ruddy looking. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to cut him down, but he just looked really like too normal to be someone that was important. Basically, it's the things that he did and said why they recognized him. It wasn't by appearance. People don't understand that, and they forget that, and then they start clinging to this false morality. And here's another thing. All right, yep. And hey, here's nothing. Oh, you drink, so you must be drunk right now when you're talking about miracles that happen to you or understandings that have been revealed to you. Now, people are using this to bypass. It doesn't matter, dude. Listen, I'm just a vessel sometimes, dude. And I believe if something comes to you that's strong, and you're strongly like nudged to speak on things, and if it pertains to righteousness and it comes out right, well, just take a heed to it. Don't strongly consider, don't let it rock your boat. Just think about it and just lighten up to an extent, but look, don't relent. I appreciate all these people's efforts to do right. And to some extent I agree with you. Some of these cases that you argue are correct. A lot of these things do cause damages in people's lives, heavy damage. And here's the point I'll just tell you back. While we're busy arguing about this petty things, almost like here, same people who want to follow the law and they won't eat normal. They overemphasize on eating. That's when something becomes edified, deified. The tradition becomes deified over the reason. When it's kind of, it's been kind of squashed to an extent. We all know this. Do all things in moderation, and it shouldn't. When it comes to the physical, if you can stick to that in moderation, you shouldn't become overweight. You shouldn't become a drunkard. You shouldn't get lung cancer. You won't have a bunch of relationships with women all around. Maybe you can curb it down to one. You know what I'm saying? Like we're supposed to do. It'd make things a lot easier. Maybe not as fun and more hard work, but in the end result, it'll curb a lot of the bullshit that happens in the course of life. So listen, I can admit to you, listen, I made many mistakes. I ain't here to try to tell you how to live and how to conduct yourself. Listen, I have my own problems to contend with, all right, that I'm working on. Just work on your own is all I'm saying. And listen, try not to judge so hard on people and always point the finger at them like you're a piece of shit because you do something that I necessarily don't agree with, but it's not a morality thing necessarily. You might be doing it for a morality thing, but it's intended for an evil thing. So you become a co-conspirator in this evil plot when, unknowingly. But it doesn't matter. None the same. You're still a pawn in some other man's fucking chess game. Just, try to remember that before you get all overemphasize on this when, look, man, we are on the verge of martial law. We are on the verge of beheadings for Christ, okay? And you want to trip on me that I might get cancer tomorrow, that I might get liver damage, 30 years from now. Why are you worried about that? Let's worry about right now. What is really important right now? I get you, though. Listen, if that was to go down right now, you better not be wasted. You better not be out at the bar carousing and corralled up already. You don't think half of these people are off duty in there anyway in plain clothes, watching the scene? You know what I'm saying? Hunting. Organized hunting and stalking. Or even, come on. Why wouldn't they? There's no law stopping them from doing that. So, just listen, if you're going to do things, do them smartly so you don't get in trouble. Once you start getting in trouble and you start doing wrong, and then they'll turn it against you and make you look bad, you should try your damnedest to not get got. So they just can't make you look bad, and you make everyone else look bad, when really everyone gets caught doing stupid shit, especially when you're out there fucking around. And then if you're the higher position you're in, the more chances for blackmail there is. So, then you really got a target on your back. You basically have to go, if you want to have a good time, you better go to your safe house and lock yourself in there if you don't want no trouble. But listen, you can't be so just tenderfoot out here, man, and just get caught up on the wrong things, man. That's kicking against the pricks, and sometimes you're acting uh, almost like the Pharisee. You know what I'm saying? Almost like the religious people of the day who just, we're just focusing on all the wrong stuff all the time, putting the wrong emphasis on the wrong things. And then, by you putting all this energy into this, we're missing this beautiful truth over here. You know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, you want to focus on this little shadow here to the point where you miss where there is no shadow over there. So, and here's what is it, man? It's like Proverbs 39:6. I think it says, "Give the man who is with heavy hearts wine, and give the man who is ready to die strong drink." So they can remember. Like one guy, he can remember his pain no more, and the other guy can remember his poverty no more. So look, people never quote that scripture. You know what I'm saying? But it's like all these things, if you use them right, they're medicine. But if you use them wrong, they become a crutch or a thorn in your side or a snare. You know what I'm saying? So it's not the deeds sometimes themselves, you know what I'm saying, that are necessarily wrong. It's the misuse of these things, these mechanisms, that makes them wrong. People got to remember that. Just remember, if you do it in moderation, you're probably gonna be all right. But just like even like prayers, it says avoid long, repetitious prayers. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes more is less. Sometimes less is more. Sometimes medium it's good. I don't know. Just something to think about.